Also were on with us last September, I think it was, after having a recent hysterectomy, which must have a huge impact on yourself personally. But unbeknownst to us at the time, your husband, Martin, had become seriously ill.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm very conscious that, for so many people in their lives, you're going along, you're doing your work, you're managing things, and then life just throws curveballs at you. And in my case, several of them happened at one time. And yeah, Martin, I've spoken to you before, spoken publicly about my own hysterectomy, and thank God I had recovered really well from that. And I thought, great, here we go.
Yeah.
We went on a short family break, and literally, between packing the case to come home and arriving at the airport, Martin got really, really sick. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was serious because he's the type of man, Irish man, who, it wouldn't matter what he was doing. Sure, I'm grand, everything's grand, but he wasn't okay. And long story short, we had to get him to an urgence, the closest place, which was in Biarritz. There was actually a lovely woman who came to our assistance in the airport. I never got her name, but she was a nurse. She was an Irish woman, but she was travelling, I think, to London. Yeah. And she came and agreed with me that this was not good. He couldn't get on the flight. So he went to the hospital. They saved his life. His bowel had burst. So he went through very serious surgery. And in the course of that, they found a tumour and he got a cancer diagnosis. So I ended up spending several weeks in the Basque Country in France with him in intensive care and hospital and all of the thing of getting him home and the worry, would I get him home? So it was one of those moments in life where literally everything got turned upside down. And to be honest with you, I was in talking with ye that time about my own kind of health issues. And at that stage, my actual concern was for him. I hadn't spoken about it. I haven't spoken about it really publicly at all because I was still trying to process, what does this mean? How serious is this? Will he recover? And your viewers will know, anybody knows when a cancer diagnosis is just a game changer for the individual, but also for the family. And that was the case for our family. And I'm talking about it now because he's one of the very lucky ones in that we have come to the end game. We see the light. We're walking into the light at the end of the tunnel, and his prognosis now is good, thank God. And for that, I am eternally grateful.
Because you got him home a few weeks later, he started treatment for colorectal cancer. So he's been going through, I'm assuming, the radiation, the chemotherapy,
the whole nine yards.
The whole shebang going on in the background. How is he?
He's good.
Is he?
He's actually he had a procedure this week, so I think he's probably watching. He's in hospital at the moment, but he's good.
We're big in hospital.
You're big in hospital, so say hello to him. You'll be delighted. So he's good. He's at the end of the journey, and I am just so relieved and grateful. And this is going to sound really strange, but for us as a family and for me as an individual, I think I am all the stronger for having gone through what has been an incredibly, incredibly difficult year with everything that happened.
That's an understatement, honestly, to go through all of those things, your own health issue, your husband and your father. Why did you decide not to talk about it? Was it just, this is private, get on with it?
Well, not so much that, although I do think when you work in the public domain, there have to be kind of boundaries around, because being a leader is not actually about me. My work is about the community, and it's about others, and it's about making life better for people and doing my best in that regard. And I suppose initially, not talking about it is just giving yourself space to kind of cope with it and to process it and manage it. But then I think moments come where it's probably very healthy and helpful to talk about it, because I'm so conscious we are by no means the only family who have come through these experiences. I mean, in the course of my work, I know over the years I have met people, and incredible people, and I have just wondered, with everything that they've coped with, how have they put one foot in front of the other? But then you discover that that's what you do. And I have such a renewed and immense respect now for everybody who cares across our hospital systems, people who care for loved ones and family members in their home, week after week, year after year. That's incredible. And I think as a society, we really need to, in a much more profound way, recognise that and support that. So that's, I suppose, the big learn, I suppose, where the personal experience becomes part of your big political agenda. You know?
But this is what we hear all the time about those carers, about those nurses who are looking for some more supports and support from government.
Yeah.
Because they do not feel that they are being supported. But from your point of view, going through, like, do the other members of Sinn Féin know everything that you've been going through?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the core team around me, absolutely, and then my wider colleagues, and they've been great, and they've been extremely supportive, and they've known that I have had a lot on.
Well, the death threat as well, where someone was arrested over a death threat made against you.
That's right, and I mean, look, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, abusive things on social media, you have to kind of weather that when 9 times out of 10, but when it gets to the extent that somebody is actually threatening your life, that's a line that's been crossed, and you have to deal with it. So the Gardaí are dealing with that.
As a leader, though, given what you've gone through in the last number of months, year, your other team members have known what you've been going through. Can you be at 100%? Given that this is a really important time for your party, Sinn Féin, you were riding high in the polls, and unfortunately this has come at the worst possible time for you. Did you feel stepping aside, maybe giving the reins to somebody else for a period of time to let you deal with what you need to do and let the party cruise on? Or do you think that maybe not being at 100% has impacted the party?
No, and I mean, here's the thing, in the midst of dealing with all of that in my life as a human being, you still show up for work. You still have to get things done. And I'm not unique in that.
But there's a difference between showing up to work and being at your best.
But I would also say this to you, Tommy, right? In my strong view and in my experience, nothing qualifies you better to be an effective, brave, impactful leader than actual experiences yourself and connection with the reality of people's lives. So I would say to you that not alone has this, been a real learning experience for me, I think it has equipped me actually better to lead, better to connect, because, sometimes politics is about spin and it's about posturing, and the Dáil will come back and you see all of the scrutiny and the toing in front, and that's part of the democratic process. I'm not knocking that. But you see in the end, what politics is really about is about really understanding people's lives and being committed to delivering things, particularly when the chips are down, for people and for families, that make their lives better, that support them. And good leaders, strong leaders, effective leaders have had brushes personally, in my opinion, with those experiences.
Well, let's talk